Hi everybody, this is Guro Francis from Filipino Martial Arts School, and today is another episode of Bayani Talk. Hi everybody, this is Guro Francis from Filipino Martial Arts School, and today is another episode of Bayani Talk. So today I'd like to talk about what makes a Filipino martial arts instructor a qualified Filipino martial arts instructor. Let me just say from the very beginning that this is a subjective manner. That because of this, because there's no governing body that actually dictates and sets criterias on what makes a Filipino martial arts instructor a qualified Filipino martial arts instructor. I know that there's a group in the Philippines that's trying to put that together, but I don't know if it's actually been completely implemented or they're still trying to work the kinks out or trying to put that criteria together. That I'm not sure of, but I know that it hasn't made it over here to the United States yet. I do hope that one of these days that it does get over here and then, see if it's actually something that it can hold mustard. But for now, there is no real baseline on determining what's a good Filipino martial artist or not, or instructor or not. So let me just say again, and then another thing that I'd like to start off with, that just because a person is a really good Filipino martial artist does not necessarily mean they're a really good teacher as well. So I think that there are so many great Filipino martial artists out there. They're not necessarily the greatest teacher, because being a teacher is in itself a skill that not everybody possess. Now, the great fighters have skills that many people don't possess either. It doesn't make them any less of a Filipino martial artist, but it just makes them a little different from those who are just really great teachers. Now, I'm not trying to say by any means that I'm a great teacher, but I think I'm okay. Now, I've never claimed to be one of the greatest Filipino martial artists. I think I'm decent. I think I can hold my own, but for the most part, I don't know. And honestly, who does know? But what I do know is that I've met a lot of people who claim to be Filipino martial artists, and honestly, guys, they're just not. And people within the Filipino martial arts instructor community, we can spot them kind of a mile away, but there's never really been a discussion on what we're looking for. So let me just start off first and foremost as to why. One of the things you need to look for as far as what makes a person a qualified Filipino martial arts instructor. One, does this person train in a consistent basis with a specific instructor? Now, again, you have to ask what's the qualifications of that instructor, but then we'll just keep going and going and going. But that's where lineage really does come in. I do believe that lineage does play a big part in the qualification of an instructor, and knowing who their lineage is and where they studied from and who did they study under is also just as important as well. But when I'm saying that this person consistently study with this instructor it's a very important thing, because there's many guys out there that study other styles of martial arts such as karate, taekwondo, whatever, and I'm sure they're extremely qualified, but within their respective style. But they've maybe attended a few seminars within Filipino martial arts. And to me, taking a couple lessons is just not enough. Now, a good friend of mine once told me, Francis, when you're putting together a seminar or a demonstration, how long did it take for you to learn Filipino martial arts? Now, I've been practicing since 1998, so I've been a practitioner for 21 years. So I told my buddy, I said, you know what? I've practiced for 21 years. And he goes, and then how long is the seminar? And I said, about 5 to 6 hours. And then he pointed out, in his wise ways, he said to me, do you really expect people to learn 21 years worth of knowledge in 6 hours? Let's just say even 24 hours. Do you think that they'll be able to learn everything that you know within 6 hours, within a few hours? And the answer is no. You really can't. You can't replace the time going into training every single consistent session. Now, for me, when I started training back in 1998, we started with once a week. I would go to my friend's house where our teacher would go and teach us there, and then eventually I moved to the main school, and I trained Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Our training started at 7 p.m., maybe sometimes even 6, and we'd end around 10 o'clock. And that's Monday and Wednesday. And on Saturday, it starts at 8 a.m. And sometimes we get home around 1 to 2 o'clock. there's many times where I would go to my teacher's house and we train, and then I don't get home till about 1 o'clock in the morning. Now that's not a consistent thing, because I think my teacher's wife would eventually kill us. But it was a consistent thing. I trained with my teacher consistently for about 10 years until I had to move away. Now, until then, I was a happy-go-lucky student. Then about, a few years into it, my teacher goes, yeah, you need to start, maybe you should start teaching. Oh. It was only then that I decided to start teaching. So that's the second criteria, which is, did their person's teacher give them permission to teach? Now, in reality, folks, we don't need anybody's permission to do whatever we want. In fact, I can call myself Supreme Big Mac Grandmaster, because nobody can really stop me. But that's just emptiness. Did my teacher bestow that title upon me? For me, my teacher gave me the blessed opportunity to become a junior instructor within our system. And as a result of that, I've taken that and I made sure that I honed and honored the style and the art and my teachers before me to my students. So I think that's another thing. Did the teacher grant this person to become an instructor? There's many people out there that decide to defy their teacher and decide to start teaching on their own. Now, for whatever their reason may be for defying their teacher, that's between them and their teacher. But that is a second thing that for me makes it an important aspect if this person's a good teacher or not, is if their teacher have given them permission to teach.